and you would be free to pursue your own interests with no additional price tag.
Interesting. But I'm not convinced.
What's lacking?
Well, the conclusion of what trade you're supposed to do.
His freedom for whatever he has you bringing.
As I
Or
said,
fetching or whatever.
I have no clue. And then there is a small pause and says, actually, I do have a clue, but I don't have it.
Hmm.
It was not entrusted to me. So, unless I am informed otherwise, it's not going to be me that will take an active role in these negotiations, deals, whatever it is supposed to happen.
Well, that's a shame.
Is it? I think I have a good feeling about this.
About what?
The situation. We shall wait and see, I guess.
Hmm. Well, I guess since we're communicating right now, I just have one more thing. How goes your search?
Almost over. I have still one thing that needs some ironing out, but other than that, I think I'm good. And at that, you feel the connection getting lost, but you get a familiar sense that she knows more than she's telling you about. For the first time, though, you also have an inkling of a good uh, feeling about this, let's say.
I don't have a bad feeling about this.
No, no, that's not how the line goes.
We are changing the rules.
I'm altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
This deal gets worse over time.
So, with all that, you get back to Ossus.
I will be honest, I wasn't expecting Javoin to try that. Very proud of him, but I wasn't expecting it.
He's turned into a very good little CSI Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Elena, unless Luke needs her immediately, will probably separate herself and go to her meditation tree.
Okay. And you can see that once you're there, everyone is getting out of the ship, and your best buddy, your friend,
Your soulmate.
your soulmate gets up, walks out, takes
Does a
in,
handstand.
takes in the
He
scenery.
probably could.
Takes in the scenery a little bit. He doesn't say anything. He just looks around, and then Kyle says, "Over this way." And you see that he starts leading him towards near the temple.
Before getting
Right,
close to
but
the
near.
temple, if Neo didn't have the chance to basically inform anyone about what he's on the ship, he will inform them with timestamps because he was looking at the clock every time since he noticed that he was doing that. Yes, he's being that paranoid, Neo. And then proceeds to go to join the committee that's leading the guest to his room.
At 11:57.
And stand and sit outside it.
We just get an inkling of Neo's journal. 11:57.
You see that,
A beta take a dump.
You see that they lead him to one of the small abodes that is just outside the temple.
Mhm.
And Kyle says, "I think that this will do fine." Opens the door. The better takes a look inside and says, "Yeah, I think it will." And he just walks in.
Okay.
And then
He's just going to sit by a tree.
yeah,
There.
you just
Taking
see
notes in
him
his computer.
reviewing the place, looking
Yeah.
at the table, the chairs, everything.
Neo takes a second of him realize, no. That's
Neo
my
has
house!
an idea how those are.
Neo has to start realization of that Kyle just put the abator in his house. That's mine!
Don't tell-
Serious question: are you going to stay there, just watching?
Neo's going to stay outside this whole time there with the computer doing stuff until he knows basically he has to go and do other stuff here. On his free time, he's going to come back to check on the place, see if he's there or not.
Well, little to be
Keep an
known.
eye on him.
You've heard of bird watching, right? What Neo's pastime tends to be more like bounty hunter watching. It's a rare thing.
Yeah.
It's a rare humming bounty hunter. Oh look, it's a red-breasted bounty hunter.
At some point, Dessa shows up with some food that she just gives it to you without saying anything, and then she leaves again.
Oh, what's a delicious cake!
Neo tells her, "Thank you for the food. Still waiting for when you tell me that you want to talk."
She gives you a glance and says, "It can wait."
She-
Apparently.
Yeah.
Oh!
Neo that looks at her and say, Neo that stops, looks at her and says, "If that's what you want, anything else I'm doing can be paused for this talk."
No, I'm curious to see where this goes.
Okay, and that Neo relaxes and says,
I think
and
we
just
all
shares a laugh at that and just nods at that. Okay.
I went to her tree specifically. She didn't have to get in the middle of that domestic again. She's always called. She's always called to resolve their domestics. She's getting tired of it, to be honest.
Wait,
Sure, always.
wait. You get an additional message on. There is a small update to where your location is now.
Okay.
And Renel informs you that she will be she will be coming to your location in the next few days.
Begin the montage of Wedge putting aftershave on, getting his best suit and tie.
Yes.
So yes,
you
you are currently parked outside the Jedi Temple on Ossus.
Yes.
Wait, is
And
this
you
the right
have,
aftershave?
And you have a couple of days to make preparations.
Prepare.
I don't even want to think about what
Okay, I'm
preparations
hitting the
these
gym.
are going to be.
In the gym. Wait,
Master.
Master Seagal, you
What?
sell Master Seagal, you sell candles, right?
when when he got out of the ship, very quick. Now basically told which hello, talk about how the operation went from his side, share that kind of stuff with which, and then basically told him, so until you need me, I'm going to be practicing with these Jedi children. They apparently need a bit more training in certain aspects that the Jedi cannot provide. And waves you with his mechanical hand, like he has always doing every time he does a gesture to you.
For the next 2 days, you see that Peter himself takes some strolls
Yeah.
around the area. He watches for a bit some of the Jedi's that are training outside.
Not if
Uh,
he sees him knowing that supposedly is the big rogue element he was hired basically to find. He's going to keep an eye out because this is supposed to be a rogue element. You never know how things are going to go. He could either be a client, which means showing of more of his skills to be paid to be used, or he could be an enemy, which means, well, better keep an eye on him. Whatever he keeps on his hand, inside his hand or not, he's just showing teaching, not so much what he knows. So, no risk on that.
Okay. One thing that is apparent is that you never see him without his full attire.
Now you sure he rarely takes off his armor unless he's relaxing, so it's like, to each their own. So he's not worried about that. He keeps that in mind because it means he's equipped or whatever it is with what he usually has as standards for combat, but still, he's not going to judge.
Okay. At some point, there is. You can see Kokrook walking towards the small abode. Not going to the abode specifically, but passing through the vicinity, and
Okay, yes.
he gives a very sharp glance towards it and continues.
Tora! Mata!
Does Theo see that or not?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, if he can catch Kakuru's look, he just shares a nod like of understanding and goes back to what he has been doing.
Elena doesn't stay idle at her tree all the time. She does come down every now and again to do some actual sparring practice with Nard, so he doesn't have to stay with the children all the time.
Nora, that would basically tell you, especially having in mind who the vector is, to say, let's do something very light, like the bare basics. Yeah, it's always good to have them practice.
Elena doesn't disagree with that at all, so she's like, sure.
I mean, he basically here, like Neo, if you ask not what he's saying that he's not going to tell you, but the truth is, yeah, he even if this guy could end up being someone he could hire him or not, better keep if it's the case or possible enemy, better keep your skills
Hidden.
at hand. So yeah.
Yeah, Elena, she just gives you a look of as if she's actually completely with you on the situation. Actually, is
Okay.
like, I can tell what you're thinking, and I don't disagree.
Yeah.
Third day, on the third day, he opens again the door during the morning. In the time that he usually does, as you have
Yeah.
deduced from the previous 2 days.
Yeah.
Gives you a look and says,
Mhm.
"Still here, I see."
Neo that says, you investigate me at one point. You should know. I have very sharp ethics.
Don't worry, I don't plan to live here.
And then Neo looks at him and says, never thought you would.
He takes his stroll again.
Neo
Oh.
gives it.
Neo
Still
takes,
keeps an eye out.
Neo takes up the extra long extendable dog leash so he can keep an eye on him, and he's always in range. Oh no!
On the
Don't
first
worry.
day, on the first day, a ship arrives. Ellen Jawain, you already know that it's expected company, not anything out of the ordinary. It's Renalin's ship. You can see that her Mira Luca bodyguard is there as well. And her ship lands close to your ship, Wedge.
Okay.
And the first thing that she does is to get out and walk to your direction.
Dinner at 6:00.
If
I'm
Narc
I'm
crosses her,
currently wearing my fedora. My
if Narc sees her at any point of the trajectory there, while going to prepare, to go with our children, he will just say good day, Bucker, because banking,
Yeah.
for the enterprise, yeah. Or he walks past her.
Mhm. She gives a slight nod with a small smile,
Mhm.
and she goes to you, Wedge, and says, "So everything worked better than expected, to be honest. Generally
Yeah.
speaking."
expect only the best from me.
Yes. Speaking of which, I have some news for you. I'm sure you'll find it very interesting.
Tell me
And she does a gesture with her hand, and you see that Medaro pulls out from his backpack
more. I shoot him.
a data pad and
Imagine,
gives
I
it
shoot
to
him.
her.
Okay.
It says, "Can we have a minute? I think you will be very interested to see what I have for you here."
Okay, I take a look over the datapad.
Okay.
What does it say?
So, you see that the mercenary company, you were already the owner, but
Yes.
now the funds that have been used by her to fund the group, you see that this has changed and it has your name on it. And she says,
while I see the numbers and the name, I do like that.
Selection yes says,
Apparently, I'm rich now.
well, yes, I had a very interesting talk with your father recently. I informed him of your
You can
escapade.
and while you say father, you hear Notibus cough like a huh, dad. So
Yes. Believe it or not, he actually agreed
your father agreed.
to cut a deal, and
Mhm.
you have your own fund to fund your own company now. And it just shows you the numbers.
Well, I saw the numbers, obviously.
The numbers. What do they mean?
The numbers. So he listens to all that.
Hmm.
He's kinda displeased from the fact that his father got involved again in his own businesses, but he's like, okay, at least it gives me a measure of autonomy rather than following his steps and stuff like that.
Yes, pretty
So
much you
yeah,
can do whatever you want with it.
so yeah, he looks again and he's like, okay, I guess I can work on my own company right now. What's the next step?
Next step, well, that remains to be seen, to be honest. I have my own things to worry about, let's say. But I see no reason not to continue our
Operation.
cooperation, yes.
So he's getting warmed up to the idea.
But as you understand, the dynamics have changed. We are more of on equal footing.
Equal footing. Yeah, he doesn't. You see him. He doesn't really have any problem with that. But yeah. Okay. So I'll start doing my stuff right now. Tell me if you need anything from me,
I sure will.
and I will be pleased to do you the favors.
Until then,
Until then. And
enjoy
he.
your newfound freedom, she
Oh
says.
yes, yes.
Merry Christmas.
And
Merry
then she turns to
Christmas.
Medara and she says, okay, back to the ship now. We have more business here. And both of them return to the ship. And you see that they exit again. And Medara is holding some kind of security suitcase with him. And they both start walking towards the Jedi Temple.
Yeah,
Oh no. Oh no.
not a shock to be honest.
Not the temple.
So
Anyway,
once, yep.
Wedge is going to do his whole. He's going to go back to his office and start, compiling
Mhm.
whatever it is to be compiled, and
Just gonna randomly compile random things.
Yep.
I will
Let's
zip
compile
and
stuff.
unzip these files endlessly.
yeah.
WinRAR is getting overused.
Oh no, we haven't paid it though. That's why.
You need to pay WinRAR!
So, once they get there, Zawayne, Elena, and the rest of the Jedi that are present, you can see these two figures walking towards the temple, and if you want to do something, now's the
Alana,
time.
picking up this might be what Luke was asking her to help with, starts making her way to the temple to join Luke in these negotiations.
Dwayne is going to get in if he can, just to watch.
Okay.
He was basically promised a show. He wants to see it.
So, as you approach her, Medaro, she gives you a look. You see that she has a smile and says, "Good to see that you're fine."
Good to see you too, Alana says with a smile, but she does have the same look in her eyes that she had in the base. She doesn't give anything away just yet, but she's almost giving Renalyn a slight, a kind of a silent, sympathetic look.
And as you continue walking, says, "I trust that all the info was destroyed on the base."
It was.
Wait, didn't Neo inform her this?
I assumed he did.
Yeah, he did.
No, okay then.
Yeah, Neo said he said one of the first Neo does before getting on the ship was inform after checking out that the whole base was clean of info was
Yeah,
basically
Okay.
tell her.
So yes, you continue, and some point Luke shows up and he says, "So you must be Miss Renalyn Bahali. I've been waiting for you." She does a small bow and says, "Thank you very much. I believe the right title is Master Skywalker, if I'm right." Yeah, he says. It's not necessary to continue with formalities, but yeah. Please come inside. So, you walk inside one of the council rooms, and you sit there. Neo. The door opens.
Yeah.
The abator walks outside, and
Neo rises up and says,
Stops.
"I take it that's your way out, right?"
says, "Possibly. Would you
Okay.
care to join?"
Yeah.
He says.
Neo that says, "Yep, interested in all of that."
Okay, so you both.
Meanwhile, back at the temple, Alana gives Luke a silent, acknowledging look, saying, Joanne decided to come along. I hope that's okay. She doesn't say anything, but it's just a silent
Yeah,
look to know that.
You see that Luke is not bothered by Zawayne being there at all.
Alana pulls up a
And
booster
then
seat.
imagine he will be.
Luke, he looks at you, Zawayne, and he gives you a nod, like, you know, you can stay if you want. There's no problem.
Alana gets you a booster seat.
I'll stand, thank you.
I agree on that mentality, to be honest.
So, after boom, couple of minutes.
After boom.
Yes.
After boom.
After boom!
The end of the campaign,
after
folks. The
It's the
The
after
temple
boom.
immediately explodes. Everyone in it is dead. This is where
And
we
we
break
go
from
to
Star
the
Wars
after boom.
canon.
No. You have to understand, Mears. It's the after boom. That means that the explosion already happened. We are dealing with the aftermath of that.
Yeah, Elena's got a severe headache, but she's fine. What was
There's
that
fire
boom?
everywhere, debris everywhere.
After a
Luke,
couple
what
of
was that
minutes,
boom?
Sorry.
After a couple of minutes, the Abator, along with Neo, walk inside.
Neo just nods and looks to see if he, it tells him to get out of the room or not.
Mm-hmm. He looks at you and gives you a nod as well.
Okay.
If you want to stay, you can.
Okay. Yeah. Neo will just lean against a wall.
Mm-hmm. The Abator goes and sits down on the opposite side from Luke. And Medaro gets the suitcase and puts it on the table. I'd say roll a perception check.
Okay.
Okay.
Does Neo also roll a perception check?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's alright. A 5.
I'll take that. I'll take that 18. I'll take it.
Okay.
You mean that 12?
Everyone.
Oh no, 18. Sorry, I saw Jawin's roll, and for some reason he didn't update
Oh.
it.
Also, Brindor, if you want to be present for this, you can
Okay.
as well. You
That's
are
the
allowed
one.
to-
I wasn't called out, so I wasn't sure if I
Okay.
was present or not.
Um,
Secretly, Brindor, the Mood, and Ketch are just sitting in like the restaurant, going, "I thought everyone was gonna be here for the after party." Ketch, did you send out the invites? I either
The
sent out
after
the
boom?
invites or
The after
this
boom.
month's coupons. I can't remember which.
Look, Ketch already knows that Elena had some business to attend to before she can come to the after party.
Oh
so
my gosh.
No,
don't worry.
you missed.
That's
the
getting
bit
marked.
part. You missed the bit.
It is.
I've already paid for the snacks. Just let me finish this bit of business. I'll be right there.
Ironically, at one point, I see Rindor there. Naruto pokes his head and says, "What up?" Like completely out of like saying, "What's going on here?"
Unfortunately, that 20 doesn't denote the immediate effectiveness of your roll because my normal roll is still higher than your nat 20. In this case.
Elena
It's a
Javoin,
nat 20.
Elena Javoin and Brindor, you all see that. Only Neo doesn't see that because he's focused on other things.
The
He's
Abate's
always
mask
blind.
is moving slightly to the left. I cannot take my eyes off it.
Look, Mears, I don't know what's the surprise here. Neo was never good at perception.
There's
This
no
is just
surprise.
keeping it brain.
You don't have to. So,
Yeah.
the three of you can see that Renalyn has a very satisfied and playful look while she's looking at the Abator that is sitting a few chairs from here. And you can clearly see that he notices that, and he just says, "Yes, you won this time." Anyway, we can move on with the important things here, if you please. And you see that Adrenaline gets up and she unlocks the suitcase, opens it up, and inside there is a wooden box that she takes out with a lot of care and puts it on the table. And then another cubic metallic box that she places it next to the other one, and then closes the suitcase again. And sits down.
Elena eyes the boxes carefully, but her face remains completely stoic.
The waiter points at the cubic box and says, I believe
How many
that
spheres can fit in this cube? Wait.
I'm sure that you will find this specific item quite useful. Me, not so much. And you see that Luke takes the metallic cubic box, opens it up, and you see that inside there is a holocron that he carefully takes out of it and puts it on the table next to him. He says, where was that holocron exactly? Well, I discovered it in the unknown regions.
Elena eyes the abater curiously.
I believe that you will find it very interesting and insightful. Although I had very limited overview of the thing. But the real prize is this, and he puts his hand on the wooden box. This is one of the main reasons that I'm in this part of the galaxy, and it took me almost 2 decades to find, make all the preparations to get to it, find a way to get to it, and safely take it. Even now, I'm debating whether you should have it or not. And you see that he gives a side glance towards Renalyn again. But, given the circumstances, I'm willing to make a bet. You see that Luke takes the wooden box while looking at the abater, puts it in front of him, and opens it up. You see that he looks at whatever is inside a little puzzled at the beginning, and then he very carefully puts his hand inside the box to take whatever is inside it. And you see the moment he touches whatever is there, his eyes widen, and he immediately looks at it with completely focused on it.
Elena never takes her eyes off Luke. Concern etched on her face, but then a morbid curiosity.
You see that very carefully he removes his hand and closes the box again, and he says, "How? What is even that?" Well, that is a tool, and a really powerful one. I gambled a lot to find it. But as I said, I'm willing to give it to you in one condition. First of all, that I'm going to leave this place unimpeded and my weapons returned to me before I leave. Of course, I give you my word that I'm not going to cause any trouble at you, for you. And the second is that I would like to have at least a few more hours with this item. And since we have our cards open here, my intention is to find a way to replicate some of its uses. It's not going to be anywhere near the full capacity of this artifact, but I do not need all of it. I just need part of its utility.
Before we agree to this, first we would need some explanation as to what the original purpose of this artifact was and why you're so interested in it.
I have my guesses. The one Ahsoka Tano had her own as well. And he looks at Luke again and he says, "If you show this item to her, I'm sure that she will recognize it. Might help her even." In any case, if you have questions, now's the time. You see that Luke is still. He's visibly thinking what he would like to ask, but at the same time, he's very focused on whatever it is contained inside the wooden box.
To allow Luke a bit of time to consider, Elena will ask her question, which is, if you were able to replicate this, as you say, what sort of uses do you think you would be able to obtain from this artifact?
As I said, it has many uses. Most of them I wouldn't be able to actually utilize because I lack some key elements to be able to use it in its fullest potential. What I care about specifically is one function. And you see that he's looking directly to Luke and he says, "This thing can end them. For good." That's what I'm interested in.
What is it then? Some sort of weapon? A device?
At that, Luke speaks up and he says, "It can be used as a weapon, but that's last resort." I have many questions. You're free to ask. And for the first time, you see that he looks at everyone else in the table and he says, "How much does anyone here know about this?" And that is directed to the abator, and he says, "I don't think they know more than what we have discussed here already." And then Luke says, "If you would please leave us alone for a moment."
Elena gives a look to Neo, just as like a silent, keep an eye on him, sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, just nods at that. It's not like he was planning to do anything else because he doesn't have anything to add to this. This is more like out of his area of expertise. He doesn't have any idea of what this artifact could be involved to even think about if it could be, you know, recreated or not. So yeah.
So, everyone other than Luke and the abator walks outside the room. And for the next 10 minutes, it remains the case.
While they're doing that, Elena is gonna quiz Renelin about how exactly she came into the possession of this thing.
She looks at you and says, "Simply put, one day he told me that he has something extremely important that needs safekeeping. And, well, long story short, we had a bet.
Elena just smirks at
I
that.
told him that whatever that thing is going to be better in the hands of your order rather than his. The bet was, if you would involved in assault on
Mears, you
and you
got him, Mears.
actually victorious. Can you hear me?
You are cutting in and out of it.
Oh,
Not
You are
well. You're in.
Is it just me? Me got cut.
So you in and out, man.
Oh my gosh.
Discord's been
yeah.
Discord,
This
everyone.
is
Merry
everyone.
Christmas.
Yeah. I
everyone.
think it's going to reconnect.
Now.
Hello.
Okay. I can hear you better, Mears. Can you hear me?
Okay, that's yep.
I
Yeah,
can hear
that's,
everyone better. I can hear
definitely
everyone
better.
better. Yeah. Do you want to start
Yay.
again?
Perfect,
Do you want
perfect.
Do you want to start again from when Renlin was explaining exactly what the bet was to Elena?
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's
says
when
that-
you cut.
Yep. Says, so the bet was that this artifact would be better in the hands of your order rather than his, given that you can actually use it as it was intended, I guess. And she gives a look at Medaro and she says, Medaro refused to even touch the wooden box. I'll just leave it at that.
Elena just gives a sympathetic look to Medar and says, From what I could see, can't say I blame him.
In any case, I told him that you would be involved in the assault on the base in one way or another. And if that happened, and you actually had a real and very positive results, which you had, and she says that with a smile, that he would actually do it.
Neo this jumps and says, besides giving me the information to accelerate the process of getting inside the base, what else did you do to push us in the right direction? Because I don't believe for a second you were just sitting idly on this bed.
Yes, I used some of my assets to give some help to the New Republic forces as well.
I see.
And,
Yeah.
in case it's not already apparent, we are on the same side here. I want these things out of the galaxy and out of the cosmos in general.
Neo that says, well, being respectful to you, I will say this. We understand what you want then out of this galaxy, and we agree with the task that I was given to. Neo doesn't. He has a poker face. He's not letting anything out, whether he feels sympathetic for her or not.
Yep.
Elena just says, well, you have that assurance on my side as well. It seemed, and she explains to it in the most layman terms possible without giving too much away. It seems that the Force was telling me of similar dangers as well, and that I personally have a large role to play in ending this threat. I'm not sure why, but I have to trust my instincts.
Gives you a look and says very seriously, do you actually believe that he will keep his word?
No.
Neo says, well, he will keep it in the sense of a child, which is keep it until he's caught.
I believe he will keep his word as long as it suits him, is all that I want to say. But not hiding the fact that she thinks he'll go back in it sooner rather than later.
He's too self-absorbed to keep his word.
Gives a very focused look to everyone and says, what's your honest opinion of this abater guy?
Neo will wait for
Don't
last
worry.
at this to say.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he's not going to come back. So that's why
He's
going to
smart.
wait to see
He's smart.
Yeah.
Seems to know what he's doing.
anyone get close.
Has the ability to back up a threat, but at the same time, has this veneer of he wants to be trusted, yet knows that whatever he can't be so. I have the feeling that he has no real way to know when to trust and when not, and when to hold his cards to his chest. He has a very thin grasp on reality.
Does anyone else want to add anything?
A very dangerous man-child who belongs dead behind bars or growing up.
Elena just has a small chuckle when you say that and says, well, that's the less wordy way I would put it, but yeah.
Neo will say, a brilliant mind with a very dangerous mentality. Whatever he went through, whatever trauma or stuff like that, it's basically stopping him from basically growing up besides the sense of how to make business. Because people who just try once and give up, can you call that an adult? Says looking at her.
At that, she says, as you understand, I have done my research as well. About a lot of situations and events and people as well. I happen to know of a certain individual a heartless, cold-blooded killer. Extremely dangerous, very efficient, and sometimes brutal. Seems to enjoy their work. Kills people for credits, and sometimes for the thrill of it even. I believe that everyone here would agree that such a person should answer for their crimes, for all the people that they have ended, all the families they have destroyed.
Neo's just waiting for her to continue.
The name of that individual, from what I understand, is Desablen. But I'm quite sure that you have a vastly different opinion on that individual.
Neo that says, yeah, I agree. That's why I was more interested to see if you were going to share your view on him, because to be honest, I know her and quite a lot of other people in the underground, which I have no problem making deals with. As you can guess, my morality is not exactly on the goody-goody two-shoes.
Yes. He seems to trust. Well, trust is a strong word, but get his wall down a little bit around people that can match him in planning and that understand the few things that he does as well. It is a huge problem that he doesn't want to trust people. Although I understand from where that's coming from. I would like to see if that can change. the fact that he actually considered the bet, he took it, and then seemingly sticks to his end of the bet could be a move to the right direction. I hate
Neo,
to see this person out of the fight. A fight that has not even begun yet.
on what fight are you fighting with him?
Sooner or later there will be an invasion. I don't know when, I don't know how, but I know it. My entire life I knew about it. It was whispered all around me. And believe me, I know what evil looks like. That's... I do some inklings in him, but nowhere close to what I know.
Oh, Neo that says, "Oh, I agree. It's the fact that makes him dangerous. It makes him dangerous. It's not being evil. Don't get me wrong. Being evil can make you more dangerous than other individuals. The reason to why I was even willing to make a deal with him and not just open the doors and do a suicide attack to try to kill him too. There in that base. No. Don't get me wrong. He's not evil, but that doesn't mean he's not dangerous. That's mainly what has me on edge about whoever this enemy is. Not only his lack of willing to throw himself off and try to trust again, especially having in mind how much staff apparently is in danger, taking your word, because you sound like a modically well-headed person with a head on her shoulders.
This is the only reason why I'm starting to consider taking the abater upon his offer, Elena adds. The decision isn't mine at the end of the day, it's Master Skywalker's of course, but if he agrees to this proposal and lets the abater walk free, I would only accept his word on the condition that I can trust you to keep an eye on him from now on, to keep him on the straight and narrow.
Well, I can't make such bold promises, but rest assured I'll try my best.
How about a different kind of promises near that? If this evil that you claim is so dangerous and it's coming, then I will give you a deal. If you need any kind of help with technical expertise of something you know about the level of my capabilities, I will do it for you for free from wherever my base of operations would be. But in exchange, the second you notice this evil force acting against us and him not moving a finger, I want you to contact us. Doesn't have to be me, could be anyone in the Jedi Temple, could be Elena, whoever you feel comfortable with.
Gives you a very serious look and then puts out her hand.
Nia takes it.
And she says with a slight smile, "Deal."
Neo just gives her a similar smile and shrugs on that.
To sweeten the deal, Elena says with a small smile, she will come clean with Ryan and say, to give you full details of what happened in the base, we did erase all the data as promised. But we also took the liberty to save the names attached to those files. Files which the names I plan to hand over to the Republic to not only destroy the data in the base, but to also make sure.
Then Neo looks at her and says, I saved them for the sake of the Jedi Order, not to maybe leak it to the New Republic. We are not sure. Besides Leia, we are not sure who to trust there. From what you had told me about what has happened on your side, you're sure that's a smart idea?
Alana looks at Neo and says, "The only reason I'm even considering this is because I'm doing this with Leia directly. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't."
At this point, we can say that there are some people inside the New Republic that can be trusted, and the worst parts of it have been already rooted out.
Fair, says Neo that.
Alana nods, and Alana proudly continues. Rest assured, the names that we found on those files will not be heard outside of myself and Senator Organa. In the effort to put those responsible for these travesties away for a good long time and make sure such things can never happen again.
You think this is going to help?
It's
Or
not.
can-
It's not going to help fully. I admit, but it's the only recourse we have left to us at this point. The data being gone is only relevant if the minds behind that data are not walking free. Get rid of the people behind it. We also get rid of any future rediscovery of said data.
At that point, the door opens. And you see that the abator looks outside, holding the suitcase that is empty. The two boxes are
On the table.
on the table where you left them. He says, "I believe we have a deal."
Okay.
Oh. If you don't mind me, I'll be packing my things. He gives the suitcase to Madaro and then starts walking.
Before
towards the exit.
before she re-enters the temple to converse with Luke, Helena will look at Renelin in the eye and say, "One last offer I have. If you feel that you need someone to confide in and anything that concerns you about the upcoming events coming for us, don't hesitate to contact me. I'll make myself available to talk whenever you need." She says with a bow and then heads into the temple.
She
Neil-
gives a nod with her head and says, "That's very kind of you."
Neo looks at her and just nods and says, "I'll be a contact ready if you ever need me." Then he says, "So now I have to go to talk with that very dangerous assassin to basically get my head eaten by her." He says with a joking smile, and that's a way.
She gives you a smile.
Dwayne finally speaks up again. I do have one more question, though. Just out of curiosity.
They
I took
stops
it-
Neo and looks at curious to see what this could be.
I take it you won this bet. What do you get out of it?
Suddenly Neo is super interested in that.
She looks at you and she says, "Well, bragging rights, first of all."
The important
course.
things I see.
You have your priorities right.
Neo is the only person that's like, of course, that's very important. Here.
I also won this great bottle of wine, a child's drawing of an oak tree.
And then she says, believe it or not, further trust. Small steps.
Yeah, that he goes back to on his way.
I think someone's stealing your girl, Wedge.
Wedge is the after boom.
Mark that, Tyron. Mark that.
So, inside you see that Luke is sitting on the chair, looking at the box.
Alana pulls her chair close to him and just sits down next to him, looking concerned, but she doesn't say anything.
I believe we have a lot to talk about.
Indeed.
And
But-
I have a lot to think about. And I need to talk with Ahsoka, like, right now.
Yesterday.
Alana just gives him a solemn look and says, "I'll contact her." And she will go to the corner and...
He just puts his hand up and he says, no need already.
Makes sense.
She already knows.
I'd be very curious to talk to her as well, given these recent revelations. She looks past the box to the holocron and she goes, "What my concern is regarding that."
He takes it, looks at it a little bit, and he says, go ahead then, and passes it to you.
She will stay in the room so he can be up to date what she's doing. She goes, before she opens it, she just says to him nonchalantly, "The more we keep hearing of this, the more my feeling grows stronger as to the connections I feel between us."
Luke gets up and he says, I'll call for you in the next few days. Get ready for it.
Alana nods, but before Luke leaves, she just says, "You don't have to ponder about this alone. If you need to talk before then, I'll be here."
And as he's exiting, he says, oh, by the way, I mean it. The holocron I entrusted to you.
She smiles and she just gives a nod. And then, unknowing whether or not Joanne re-enters to see her as well, she will...
Oh, he definitely does.
As Joanne enters, you see Luke leave, and as Luke passes, you look at her and she's just started doing the whole opening holocron pattern and taking a peek inside.
Ooh. He actually verbalizes that. Ooh.
Teeny.
Ooh, teeny.
The holocron is actually much more demanding to open out of all that you have tried thus far. But natural 20, so
It is an
By
actual
the
20.
power of load.
Yeah, I meditated on
By
the
the
way back
power
here.
of
So
serenity.
yeah, I meditated on the way back here. Good memory, Russ.
And there is immediately something very unique to it. There's not one, but two people that they have imprinted memories and teachings inside.
With the natural
Dwayne is walking closer.
with the natural 20, does Alana recognize either of them?
Yes. One of them is a Jedi that left a rather very fearsome and notorious name under the monocle of a Sith Lord in
Ancient times.
ancient times. And the other one is
Looks a lot like you!
is a Jedi Knight that had to deal with a lot of the aftermath of the war that happened back then.
And she looks almost exactly like Alana.
Yes. Also, you do recognize that specific figure from one of your visions.
Alana takes a moment to pass this, and she just is aghast.
So, the holocron contains a lot of information about certain outposts located in the unknown regions. It seems that these two took a very perilous journey in the unknown regions, trying to find out what exactly lies there and was calling to them like a distress signal.
The same calling that Alana herself has recently been awakened to.
Yes. They found out that the Sith had established in the past some outposts in the unknown regions that they used as bases to grow in number and strength, and then begin their one of the devastating wars that they waged throughout the ages against the galaxy. And they also found traces of even older civilizations slash malicious force users, namely the Rakatans, and traces that there are still things in the unknown regions that are kept hidden and locked away in areas that are almost as if something wants them to be as difficult to reach as possible, if not outright impossible for almost anyone in the galaxy. The unknown regions is riddled with gravitational anomalies, with a lot of difficult places to navigate. Establishing hyperspace lanes is almost impossible. And they were able to locate specific clusters of points of interest, let's call them, that scream of dark side influence. and energy. Their their mission was to try and map them all out and try to find what is still hidden from the majority of the galaxy.
Elena
See
off.
us, Dad.
Yeah, Elena offhanded the mentions to a mission that the forces tasked me to continue.
Okay. Second.
Oh, it's nothing serious. It's something
Yep,
for later.
yep.
Yeah.
I just saw it.
The one question she asks the holocron, however, is if that was the case, why did they decide to set off alone into the unknown regions to sell this? Surely they had allies more willing than anyone to aid them should it be necessary.
Although that is true, they knew that they were the ones that were more well equipped to navigate, number one, and number two, potentially resist whatever they would find.
It seems
in their journey.
Elena nods. Eventually, will mention to them. It seems that in her timeline that resistance is something we're all going to have to learn, as she believes the threat that they found in the unknown regions is gearing for an invasion of the galaxy. As she speaks to them,
Mhm.
and any information they can impart to her would be helpful in her passing along this lesson to her fellow Jedi. Especially.
The answer is simple.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things that are lost there, from ways to use the Force that are not radically different, but different than what the Jedi Order, even back then, was accustomed to.
Mm-hmm.
And technology that has been left in Forgotten Worlds and could be used by extremely dangerous civilizations or even individuals.
A lot of those denoting that.
And there is a specific mention to Rakatan relics and stuff like that.
She knows
And
that.
there is also specific mention that the hyperspace, that the hyperdrive was created after carefully examining the Rakatan ships and making tweaks and changes on their own engines that were mostly being energized by the usage of the Force.
Alana will mention to the holocron that her allies had found such artifacts recently, but is clueless as to what they are and how their proper function is, and she will describe what was in the wooden box.
Mm-hmm. Oh, have you seen what is inside?
I think Alana took a peek when she was sitting close to Luke just before you left the room.
I'd say they make a perception check.
Perception check for holocrons. I didn't know I could do that. Do they make a perception check or I do?
You do. The
Okay.
perception check. See if Elena took a good pick.
Yeah, I think she
Okay.
did.
So, what you were able to see was something that seemed triangular and very elongated. Like a very elongated pyramid shape object inside. It seemed to be made from some kind of metal as well. And it seemed to be solid.
Ellen will describe to the holocron how the leader of her order has one of these and an ally of hers has a second one. But they're not sure as to what the purpose is.
Okay. You can't actually get help from the holocron on that one.
Mm.
In any case, as you are reviewing that, to close the abator business, he goes back to his to the little house that was given to him for these few days. Packs up the very few things that he had with him. And Renalyn with Medaro are waiting back. They go back to their ship pretty much, and they're going to wait there.
Yep.
So, Neo, if you are still there,
Nia's not following him. He basically, the moment he got they made a deal. It's like, okay, I have no excuse to keep keeping an eye on him. So yeah.
okay.
Time for the domestic, which he knows that I can't help him with because she's got more important things to do right now.
He doesn't want Elena's help on this.
Good! Thank you for once.
Hey, he never is asking you for help.
It's Daisa who's asking Elena's help. That's what I'm
the
saying.
One that used to help him.
No, Daisa's the one who asks Elena to get involved. That's the joke I'm making.
Fair.
Never that Neo asked Elena to get involved. Because that wouldn't be true.
So, you see that he actually shows up
Mhm.
where the rest of you currently are. And he says, I do not expect our paths to cross again. Maybe in the future, who knows. For the time being, I have... my business will take me elsewhere. Suffice to say that nothing was personal. It gives a look at you, Neo.
Neo looks at him and says, never was personal from my side either. I just consider you that dangerous.
Goodbye, my lover. Goodbye, my friend.
I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry I let you down.
Then he says, time for me to go then.
I should go.
No, he doesn't get that. He doesn't get that honor.
That's not an honor. That's just a bland
That's a
line.
phrase.
But he doesn't get the right to say it.
Line.
He doesn't get the right to say it.
And looking at you, Neo, he says, I have to say, that you have shown some promise. Not only you, but the people here in general. I hope that I'm not making the wrong choice here.
Neo at that chest looks at him and says, "You can never be sure whether your choice is the right or the wrong one. The only and there's no one out there that will basically tell you that answer truly, because only you can decide that. If you at any point right now you're thinking that this is the wrong choice, then you know it. You're thinking you don't think it isn't, you know it."
I left something for you back on the little house. And he leaves.
It's a poison brownie. I heard you like these. Oh, I've also left some
Okay.
divorce. I've also left you some divorce papers.
He's just going to nod at that.
Okay. That's it. He goes to the ship when Ranel is waiting, and they leave.
Okay, Neo's going to look around to see if Lisa is there.
She's always there.
Yes.
Neo's going to
Clearly see
Neo-
her in a corner.
Neo's going to look at her and say, "So, do you want to talk with me while we look at whatever this gift is, or do you want to keep pushing this back more?" Guess me.
Just to be safe, go and check it out in case it's a ring or something.
Neo just gives her a dry look and says, "Ha ha ha. Good to know, you know." You know my preferences already, with a dry tone and dry look on his face like he's feeling insult. Which he is, by the way, and goes to that house.
Okay. You see that there is a datapad.
Okay,
It's
Neo's going to
quite
open it to
difficult.
see if he can.
Yes, you will need to unlock it actually.
Okay, can Neo take it? Basically, give me a second what he has. Yeah, because he used his mechanics. Give me a second. I opened the wrong character sheet. Can you basically take 20 to try to get through it, or that's not going to be enough?
20
the
no,
25.
you can take 10 though.
Okay, I'm going to roll then. It's quicker than that. And take it then. Yeah.
Alright.
You know what? Just for the lols, forge point it. Why not? It's not. Why not?
Right. You open it
45.
successfully, and inside you see information about the usage of kyber crystals.
Okay.
And the information is not how to use them exactly, but what it is that kyber crystals can do, and that is store enormous amounts of energy.
Okay.
And there are
Neo's going-
some very interesting notes and observations on that point. And a theory that seems to be written by him specifically, that because kyber crystals can store all kinds of energy,
Mhm.
it's not strange to him that people that are force sensitive can sense things and even see things that happened from the past when they use kyber crystals. It's like the energy that is stored inside them could leave an imprint of whatever was the reason for it being stored there.
Neo is going to basically, for now, relock this datapad with the security that he had,
Mm-hmm.
knowing since he knows already how unlocking it. He's going to redo it. He's going to pocket it, and when everything comes down a bit and stuff like that, he's going to go to look. So basically, what was that the aviator left for him? A bit of the information on his theories and stuff like that. And basically see how Luke feels about him progressing his research into, using kyber crystals, basically for, using this knowledge for his idea for basically, transport and stuff like that as an energy source for that kind of stuff.
Yes. The interesting thing is that,
Storage in this case, yeah.
yes, you see that the interesting thing is that there are no instructions of how to
Yeah.
use them,
But
but it
no,
explains in greater detail how they actually work. So,
which he can basically be used to develop any usage for them. Yeah,
it can give ideas, let's say. That's
Yeah, you can give ideas, which basically it turns to experimentation, which is exactly what Neo wants to keep doing regarding this topic. So yeah.
okay. So,
After he gets
Now
this
it's
here,
time.
he's going to go. By the way, Neo's going to again go look for this.
okay. This time she's willing to talk,
Okay.
and she seems much more relaxed.
Yeah, and Neo is also much more relaxed, can be noted now.
And she's like, now that all of this craziness is over,
Hmm.
how about we talk taking some of these vacations that we're talking about all this time ago?
Neo that opens his eyes says, "That's surprisingly better than what I was expecting this conversation to go. Yeah, I'm up for that."
Well, your every move is going to be evaluated.
Neo that says, "That's not a surprise."
Just so we are clear on this.
Just so we're clear, you're going to be judged for everything you do at every moment of the day, even when you're asleep.
Even when you gotta go potty, I'll be judging you.
And then, just to ease the tension, you see that she smiles and says, okay, when you're done, tell me and we can start planning this. You can also invite a few people if you want, but not for too many days.
Neo just looks at her and says, "You know what? I think I had enough about quite a bit, a lot of people and paranoia. Just relaxing with you, I think it would be nice. I think we can just keep it between us, this, right?"
That's a good start. Keep it up. And she leaves.
Neo, when she's outside, says, "Well, good to know. I just had to keep being myself then." And goes to basically see if Luke has a free moment to basically tell him,
Yep.
basically the all this information. Yeah.
So, a few days.
In the middle of those few days, probably 2 days after this, Elena realizing that she forgot to do it last time, also in a I kind of need to do this for myself sort of manner, will go look out for Mara and say, "I've just remembered. I still owe you that drink." And then they go to the Jedi bar to have a drink.
The Jedi bar. I don't believe that there is a Jedi bar, but
Whatever bar that's nearby.
Never already mentioned that he was drinking in the one of the past time he went here to Osus. What is the shock of there being a Jedi bar?
That's probably a Kyle initiative.
yeah, I can actually see that. So. Okay, she joins you there and says, "So,
I guess I owe an explanation for what happened in that base, don't I?
not really, but if you feel the need, go ahead."
She will basically go over everything she mentioned to Joanne and her personal involvement in all this, and she'll even go into extra details saying that I don't know, I'm struggling to process all of this.
She's looking at her glass and says, "You know what? I've been thinking quite a lot recently myself."
Anna shuts up and
It's time to break up with you, Wade.
Anna gives her a look and says, "As always, I'm here to listen."
Poor Luke has asked me already too many times, and he's not going to do it again. So, I was thinking of officially joining the gang.
Anna smiles and goes, "What ended up making the decision for you?"
Talon card shenanigans. And to be honest, I see that you're a merry bunch over here, so I have to say that I had some ideas, some bias, I should say, about the order, but from what I see, people here are encouraged to be themselves. And since you're here, I think that's the secret of your success, specifically.
My success.
So-
Anna says questioningly.
She looks at you and says, "Yeah."
I don't feel
What? You think you're not succeeding or something?
It's not that, it's just I still had this feeling of inadequacy compared to the rest of the order. Like there's always something I'm missing.
I think that the main thing you're missing is some peace of mind and, just relax a little bit. And I say that as a friend. From someone that looks from the outside of things, okay, there have been some complications and, bad moments, but all in all, your run with your own personal gang was quite successful.
Ella smiles and she just clinks her glass towards Mars and just says, "It wouldn't have been as successful if you weren't there with me." And for what it's worth, I'm glad you finally decided to join us. This place would feel empty without you being around.
I think you're giving me too much credit, but she gives a look and says, "Oh, who am I kidding?" Don't worry, things will start looking up now that I'll be here. Kyle as well has some ideas about the place, let me tell you, and I'm going to encourage this.
Anna just starts giggling and goes, "At least I won't be the only one pushing these ideas now."
We're gonna be starting with taking down all the walls and replacing them. We gotta change the material. And we're gonna put on.
Yep.
After we've done that, we're
This
gonna
is,
put up
after all, still
wallpaper.
just a ruin. We would like for it to be an actually fully functioning facility.
Yeah, why settle for one bar when you can have 3?
Stone is out of fashion. We need to have striped wallpaper now.
But wait, horizontal or vertical?
Yes.
Vertical, of course. And it's black and white first. Then we start.
No.
We painting in like
plaid.
colors. Get plaid.
Shit.
Yeah.
It's white with plaid strips.
So, after 2 days, Luke pays you a visit, Elena, and he says, "So, I've been thinking a lot lately, and I've also been busy with a lot of stuff that's going on. Some projects as well. And I believe that we have what we need, people as well, to start a new temple."
I see. Ella says,
The location of our first
Outreach.
new location, I guess, it's going to be Dantooine, since you mentioned it, and from everything that I've heard and I know of the place, I believe it's a prime location.
she just smiles and she just says, "Is that everything?"
Well, I was hoping that you would be joining the team that goes there to make this a reality.
Of course.
Perfect. I think it's also fair to give you a leading position over there, you know. You already know the place.
Leading position.
Yes.
I may be familiar with the area, but I'm sure there are plenty of masters around here more qualified than I to lead such an outpost.
Well, I for one insist. And I think it's time for you to get to the next stage, if you like.
What do you mean?
Is Dwayne there?
It could be. Somewhere.
He's trying to make you a master.
Instead of a like regular master, a master.
Yes!
Yes. Now, let's not let's not overcomplicate things. You're not a double master. You're a single master. Okay.
Aww.
It's like black belts, double black belt, triple black belt.
Only Luke can be a master.
No, he's a grandmaster.
So, I have already asked a few people who wants to go there and see the place and join you on the new temple and help you build it, of course. I'll be visiting quite a lot, believe me.
Ella just gives him a smile and says, I'd hold it against you if you don't.
He just sighs and he says, I think I'm overextending myself at this point. I have made too many promises to too many people.
Ella says to Luke, nonsense. You overextend. When have you ever done that? She says with a smirk.
Anyway, feel free to get ready for the journey there. Pick up anyone you want to go with you, and I'll join you in the first opportunity I have to help with everything, you know.
Elena nods, and then she just sits there momentarily, just letting everything sink in. This is Joanne's opportunity to walk further into the room.
And before he leaves the room, Luke turns to you and he says, "Oh, everyone is already privy about your position now."
Elena will just look at him and say, good. I'll be there in a moment. Just need to think about a few things.
Okay.
Elena almost has a tear in her eye when she looks back to the floor, but it's almost like Joanne, you can sense a bit of inner peace has started to finally wash into her at this point.
About
Okay.
time, to be honest.
How long have you known about this?
How long have I known? About as long as you did. I was just really good at guessing.
Well, that means you knew before Elena. Slightly.
Yep.
No, that was just me hoping. Because it should have happened long ago.
And as they're talking, all I hear is the party music going on in the background, and she goes, "What in the force?"
Yes, you see an entire Wookiee family that has come here to celebrate Life Day specifically.
Of course. You can hear me saying, this is not supposed to be a live party. This is supposed to be a Jedi Master party. Get out of here.
The food is not for you!
As for you, Brindor, the next days, as you see that there being a lot of stuff happening around, and of course you are you know of what is about to happen in the near future with the founding of a new temple over on Dante.
Lots of business. Yes.
Lots of business.
But that's not necessarily your business. Plus, it seems that the gang, well, gang. That's a strong word, but still.
Yes.
Is that
Very
cool?
strong.
Yes. We'll start to split up, and you begin to think for your next steps after this. You get a very interesting offer coming from the office of a senator, specifically Lea Organa, to work as a free agent there.
Yeah, all right, sure. I hope this will be more like the rebellion days. A bit too much paperwork in the modern New Republic.
How are the Rebel Rebellion days different from the normal Rebellion days? Tell me.
Well, I'm saying the past versus now.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
the Rebel Rebellion days have to be different from the normal Rebellion days.
I'm pretty sure it's like in Rebellion days.
You also find another
Mhm.
not request, not even just a notification, I would say, that simply says a lot of weak personnel has been ousted in the few months. They cannot take the pressure of the traveling restaurant around the galaxy.
Oh, fun.
It's not an offer, but it is an offer. It's just there.
It's not an offer, but a request. Would you like some more? Would you like some more food for $5.99? Before she goes outside to greet the gathering crowd of partygoers, Elena looks at Dwayne and she just says, "So, what are you gonna do now?"
Well, until we get more information regarding this thread or it reveals itself, I don't really have any better place to be than wherever you are.
Elena smiles at that. I thought you wanted to help Jacera out with whatever she wanted to do as well. Or is that avenue been closed?
I'm not sure. I think if there is anything there, she's got to be the one to make the moves. She's secretive like that, you know?
Yeah. I know it could be frustrating. But if you ever do feel like it's time for you to make your own mark on the galaxy, you'll always have a place. You'll always have a spare bed at the new temple that Luke's got me building. You've always got a place there, should you want it.
I want it now.
Then, congratulations! You are now the first person to join me on this quest. I assume many more friends will join us.
Okay. So,
I kind of imagine.
after the
I kind of imagine now Elena open, kind of like in the end of Dragon Age Origins, Elena opens a Jedi Temple door and literally everyone who's been an ally or a friend in the campaign to the entire party just stood there clapping and cheering.
Yes, you see that Cockroach goes to you, takes you in his massive frame for a hug, and he says, "Well, now that this is over with, I'll be joining you."
Alana returns the hug and just says to him, "Good. I don't want a repeat experience like last time."
You see that he's smiling. Roll a perception check.
I have to roll so many perception checks today. Really?
Yes, you have. Okay.
Want to force point that?
Yeah, sure.
It's not necessary, but if you want to.
I want to.
I mean, it's Cockroach we're talking about.
I know. I was about to say this old man is the person. This is the old man that Alana's known the most for her entire life. I don't think the perception check for her would be high.
Look, there's no such thing as overkill. You can never be too sure.
I know.
The old man is clearly hiding something.
Is that the truth?
You ask him that? Yes, of course it's the truth. I'll be coming with you.
No. I was asking that to you directly as the GM. Is that the truth? Is he actually hiding something?
Yes, he is. He's hiding something.
Master, we've known each other long enough. What's on your mind?
He looks at you and he says, "I'm not supposed to say anything, so I won't."
You'll say every word except everything.
Just remember one of the first teachings: patience.
She smiles, just pats his arm and just says, "It's never been your strong suit, old friend."
No, it's not. Now I'll have to talk with Kyle and try to dissuade him from creating that force bar, he said it, or something?
Force
Terrible name.
bar.
Alana looks at him and just says, "Why? Why are you dissuading him? I think it's a good idea."
It's a terrible name, Elena. And he leaves.
Okay, that conversation needs to be clipped, Tyron. That conversation needs to be clipped.
So,
You give bars a bad name.
Shot to the heart, it tastes real bad.
the next few weeks, there are preparations for your journey to Dantooine.
Okay.
As far as Nar goes, he joins Wedge, and he's,
Yeah. Yeah, basically what I was going to say is that at some point when Wedge goes away, he basically just says, "Well, I'm going back to with the company. If you ever need to hire me for something outside of that, you know where to call me."
Elena almost gives you a handshake, but then pulls you into a hug, and she just says to you, "If you need anywhere to go in between jobs to train and work and keep your skills up, I have a place for you at Banyu Academy. You're more than welcome to stop by."
Awkwardly, Nard claps you in the back and says, "Yeah, look, we're friendly, but I don't think we're this close, girly."
Alana just gives you a chuckle and she goes, "You need to light it up." And then she just leaves.
So,
Okay.
the preparations are done, and you begin your journey to Dantooine.
Before it begins, he is going to basically take those vacations. So before he goes with it, just says, "So we'll be seeing you there unless you already have some kind of mechanic or something like that when we're done."
Alana just smiles and goes, I wouldn't accept anyone else. You two have fun now." And she looks at Daisa. And she looks at Daisa and she just says, "Try not to get in too much premarital troubles while I'm gone."
You see that while you're saying that Neo is stepping into a computer and says, "I send you basically all the basic equipment that we'll need to basically help you with that." At least I'm going to need to, Elena. Okay, now we're done with business. We can go relax. Let's do this.
So,
Alana smiles and, as just before Neo turns around, she makes it a very poignant glance at Jawain's Jawa clan and goes, "You get that data? Shall we get started, fellas?" Houdini!
Think about it. This is actually probably the perfect job for my clan.
Exactly. That's kind of why I made that
no.
comment.
oh my god.
You've unleashed the Jawas on the world, Miss. What will you do?
I've doomed the galaxy. This is the great danger.
The galaxy will never recover from this.
The great
Riss, you were afraid of the wrong Darth Janitor.
Darth Jankius appears.
Darth Jankius. Isn't that the male? Isn't that the male midget version of Darth Lointh?
No, Darth Length is far too strong.
Darth Jankius is the apprentice of Darth Lointh.
So, you make your journey to Dantooine, and you reach your destination without any events happening in your way there.
There's no
And
horizons.
when you arrive, you see that there is already a small camp outside. The ruins of the old temple.
Alana makes her way to the camp to greet the workers there personally.
Mm-hmm. As you approach, you see Cal, not Kyle, Cal,
I know.
showing up, and he says, "Well, I was wondering when you would show up."
She pulls Cal into a hug and she just says to him, "Figured you'd be involved in this somehow."
Of course I would be. Have you seen this place?
Yes, several times.
Yes, and I have seen it once, and that was enough. I want to see more of it.
Well, I grew up here, so I guess when this whole thing's done, I can give you a personal tour. She says with a smile.
Okay. Just so you know, we have already a few people here, some workers, some like us, actually, it's just me from the Jedi group, I guess. Now we are more, of course. And there's some other people as well. Actually, let me fetch them. And you see that he...
Alana
starts
chuckles.
moving. And After a few minutes, you see Marin emerging and says, naturally, I came as well. This seems like a good place to start something, or rather, rebuild something.
She, Alana smiles at her and says, I'm glad to have you along.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there is also someone else. Come out already, she says. And you hear another female voice saying, yes, yes, I'm coming, I'm coming. And you see, emerging from the stairs that lead down to the ruined temple, Jersera.
Alana raises her eyebrow and almost surprised, but also acceptance.
She gives a look at you and says, at you, Elena, at Chawain, and the others that you have gathered, and says, now, don't get any ideas. I'm not saying I'm joining you.
I was never going to ask
I
that.
am saying I'm going to help here.
We're just gonna
because-
assume and act like you are.
But I am going to help. Number one. Number two, I'm willing to get some additional training in specific things that the Jedi Order has to offer. And in return, I can show you some of my things, I guess.
I'm sure that could be arranged, Alana says with a smile.
Good. And Jessera looks at you, Jawain, and says, I would like a word if that's okay.
All right.
Says, so. Oh, give me a second.
She says that in character.
Yep. She looks at you and says, well, my business deal with certain someone has been concluded.
Well, I'm at least glad you got out of that.
Well, both me and him, to be honest. In any case, I do have some insights about possible future. I have faced some of the warriors of she sighs and says, I guess this is something for everyone's ears.
Probably.
Let's join the
I
others
just-
as well.
Mm-hmm.
And as everyone is gathered there, Jessera tells you that as far as she knows, from what the abator has imparted to her and she has learned, there is a very powerful function that has been rising steadily in the unknown regions that is ruled by a council, a very small but tight council of extremely powerful force users. This is not something that she knows, that she has seen herself, but it's what the abator told her. And she has seen soldiers and force sensitive soldiers of theirs. fighting, and she has also fought once or twice, some of them, and she almost died in one occasion.
The other very formidable warriors, Alana says, saying that she and Joanne also encountered such warriors in the laboratory.
Yep, and she gives you all the information she has on the situation there. It seems that that they like to take control of other systems, preferably through politics and the diplomacy, or outright hijacking government of other systems, and then using them for to wage war on other systems that are near the ones that they just conquered, pretty much, or attached to their growing sphere of influence. And it seems that they have also quite interesting, advanced and dangerous technological breakthroughs as well. And from what she has seen and knows and has been researching all this time, she believes that they have been doing something close to what she has been doing. They are actively trying to find anything they can from the past and recreate it and make use of it. And she ends her exposition with saying that any system or alliance that they cannot overtake through diplomatic or
Underhanded methods?
yes, underhanded methods, they invade. And they are extremely brutal on their invasions.
Alana nods, and then, once she finishes her conclusion, she will ask Joanne to keep an eye on everything out here, and she will take Jasera to the side alone inside the temple.
And she says that the last thing she says is that the greatest thorn on them in the unknown regions is the Chi's ascendancy, from what she has heard. But it seems that
Aku provides.
yes,
Aku provides.
but it seems that the ascendancy is not able to actually defeat them. It can just stall them out, and they are pretty good at hiding their own bases and forces and stuff like that.
After she says all this,
So she pretty much says that it's a question of when they are going to defeat or at least weaken the ascendancy to the point that they will be able to start directing their forces / eyes and stuff on the known galaxy that they have been doing for quite some time, if what the Abator told her is to be believed.
It's also plans for
And
the information I've been gathering as well.
Yes, and specifically she says they have been looking on what was happening even during the even before the Civil War, during the Clone Wars. They already had some scouts here and there seeing what's happening, and this is the reason. The fact that the Sith actually won that fight is one of the main reasons that they're so interested in Sith abilities, artifacts, and anything they can get their hands on, pretty much.
Elena nods, and she remarks on how she heard similar things from Thrawn himself and also in her own research. And to that end, she takes Jacera aside into the temple and she says, "Now that we're fully trusting each other with such information, I have a gift for you." And
These two droids. Wait.
Of course!
she pulls out a holocron that the Abeta gave her and Luke entrusted her with, places it down, opens it, and she goes, "This is something from my personal retinue and something I've been studying for the last little while. And in an effort of cooperation and to help in whatever you're researching right now, I am placing my trust in you and allowing you to study this holocron, which has some interesting connections to myself especially."
Okay. You see that she's very serious when she says that I vow that anything I see here is not going to be shared in any way, shape, or form with anyone that you don't want to share it with.
She nods and she says, "Share it with my fellow Jedi, but in terms of anything you learn from this, for now, keep it between the two of us just to make sure it doesn't leak into the wrong hands."
She nods, and the one thing that is the last thing that she's going to impart with you and Jawain.
Jawain can join us in this conversation
Yes,
as well.
with the
so-
rest of the Jedi, she's not going to do it, but with you two, she will. Is that her theory, pretty much? She believes that an extremely powerful ancient race was able to create wonders around the galaxy in scale and in scale that the civilizations right now cannot even imagine.
Elena just says the word the
And
Reconnaissance.
she says that she knows for a fact that the most advanced civilizations of the past, mainly one that was called the Qua, another one that was called the Gri, and they were somewhere near this place of the galaxy. They were client species, pretty much of them. They were like the most advanced sentient species of their time, that they were given some guidance. And she pretty much says that she believes that the first Jedi, that what began on
Typhon.
on Tython, was pretty much instigated by those beings, because and she shares this whatever little evidence she has of this. There were numerous force sensitive beings that were picked up around the galaxy and moved there by giant ships that no one knows how or when they came from, and called the Thoyor. Collected them, got them there, and the reason that she said that the Jedi were a failure, it's because she believed that since the force sensitives there got divided in two groups and started fighting each other, she saw it as the conclusion of an experiment, maybe in her head. That yes, maybe this is why it was deemed like a failure, and that the Jedi are always destined to fail, because this is what will always occur. But she says that's maybe that's not as true as he thought it was.
Yeah. After she divulges this, Alana sits down next to her, opens the holocron, and allows her to see what she's been studying for the last 2 or so weeks.
Mhm.
And she watches Jasera's face as she recognizes that one of the figures in the holocron looks exactly like her.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I know who this one is. That's obvious. What are you doing 4,000 years ago, Elena?
And after a month has passed, and everything seems to be taking some shape around the temple, there is one more arrival. You immediately see who she is. Actually, Neo, I would say that you are there as well at this point.
Vacation's over, time to go home.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, Neo has been basically right at work, helping around, preparing everything. You're making sure the security, it's not tight enough to be paranoid, but tight enough to be safe, basically for everyone that's there, that kind of stuff. Communications was the first thing he put up, because
You
that's
see,
what's
you
important,
see,
yeah.
Kukruk is very joyful and ready for whatever is that's about to happen.
He's a happy.
It seems,
He's a happy giant monkey.
yes, he's a giant. He's a happy
Okay.
giant man.
Okay, I have one question. Would Neo have an idea of who this belongs or not? Because if not, he's going to ask, what the hell has him so happy? Not that I'm complaining about that, it's good to see him happy, but still.
He has a giant
So-
skipping rope.
So, at some point, a happy Kukruk comes in and says, "Finally, she's here." And
Neo, if he doesn't know, gives him a questioning look like, who?
and he just exits. He doesn't elaborate, and he just exits.
I hate when
Tears
you get...
Pantos leaves.
I am the wizard.
Neo looks at Elena and Jawain. At Elena, Jawain says, I hate it when they get like that. I'm begin swallowing.
And you see Ilva arriving at the site, looking around. It says, "Huh, this is quite the change from last time I saw this place."
Well, howdy, stranger.
Neo that says, well, I hope you're liking what I'm adding to this.
Alana is almost leaning against the construction in a safe way and just almost tutting and sarcastically looking at Melvin, saying, "You took your sweet time."
Yes, I did. I won't be staying for long, I have to go back to Dathomir. It's my
Everyone has
home,
to
let's
work.
say. Yep.
Mhm.
But I wouldn't let you here alone. We have to speed things up.
She
And
smiles.
Yeah,
then
that
she looks around and says, "I already see a few people that need discipline here."
Alana just laughs and goes, "Don't be too hard on them."
I never am.
Neo that says, I hope I'm not one of them just because I am doing stuff like that, because at least I'm doing my weight here. Put my weight here.
She cracks the whip.
When does the whip? There's a way.
She looks at you and says, "We'll see."
Neo that says, security, so it's that kind of stuff. Okay.
As she says that, Elena just turns to Daisa, who's standing next to her, and just says, "So."
Wait, will this Sabu still be here, or will she work? That's the question.
I mean,
I
she
think
could
she's
come with you here. I mean, that's up to you.
That's her choice. Neo's not going to basically tell her no. He's going to tell her,
Okay.
"I'm going to be living there."
I'd
So
say that she would be
when you
curious
come.
to see what exactly is happening.
Okay.
So.
At that moment, awkward moment, Elena just turns to Daisa, who's standing next to her, and goes, "So, you never told me how your holiday was."
She looks at you and says, "You're right, I didn't."
Shall we go for a drink and talk about it? I think Neo can handle himself from here.
We can have as many drinks as you like, and we can talk about some things.
I'm all ears, and she says as she leads Daisa to the nearest bar.
And as you're leaving for the bar, she says, "Now that I see that Big Mama is here, I guess that everything is going to work just fine." And she gives a side glance to Ilva that is already...
Yeah, Elena goes, "Yeah, it means we could take a long break."
Sadly for Neo, there's no break. He's the only one there. He's basically has the capabilities that he has in this regarding this.
Well, Elena hasn't taken a break.
Him.
Technically,
We have
Elena
a
has.
whole Jawa clan.
You have a whole Jawa clan.
Yeah, I'm not saying that Jawa clan is not capable. I'm saying that they still need someone technical knowledge to guide them in certain aspects. So
Oh.
that's what Neo's doing.
The last thing that happens is that a ship arrives, a whole bunch of Jaguar start pouring out of it, and the devastation begins. Actually, no.
They have a
Neo
whole.
begins to speak
Good.
speaking Jawa.
They have a human-sized chair. They have a human-sized chair, and so going ooga chaka, and Joanne goes, "No, she's gone to the bar. She's
You
not here
can
yet.
see
Put it
Neo
back."
beginning to
So, closing.
You can see when the Jawas arrive, Neo begin to take out his plans that he has been just having for looking at himself and begin like explaining and looking for second opinions while explaining it all in more simple terms. Some of the technical stuff there for that.
Okay. So, closing. Elena, you have some closure at long last, even if there are no tangible, real, undisputed evidence. You know who you are now. And by that, I don't mean only as a person, but also as far as bloodline goes.
I am what I am.
For the first time since forever, it seems that things are looking up. And even though you know at some point in the future, no one knows when, there is a storm coming everyone's way, you can't help but feel that things will be okay. Because you see people working together that when all of this began, they would immediately kill each other instead.
It's a little something that Elena's learned to harness called influence. And she's been getting positive influence with everyone around her. She's being completionist by doing all the side quests.
Now she's cashing it all in.
Yeah.
I mean, depends how you consider the one person that Neo killed at Cool Blood, whatever you consider that small event positive influence or not. With exception of that, yeah, you have a pretty good influence.
No, Elena had no part in what Neo did to Peric. Elena gained influence by talking to Neo about the event in the aftermath and going, "You know that was wrong, right? Yeah, I know that was wrong. Fine.
But I don't regret it.
It's really hard to regret.
That's what he's
Yeah.
saying. That.
Brindor, you are relaxing back at your office on Coruscant. After a very long time, you have a simple office. Nothing too much is happening.
Oh no, I'm gonna get bored.
A good amount of money is rolling in. And you have quite a lot of connections. And you think on the crazy adventures that you recently had, especially with a blood cultist.
Alright. I'm gonna be spending vacation days on figuring out places where there's like Imperial remnants, who like reconstructed Imperial remnants are that need elimination, and reach out and see if he wants to have a boys' night out.
Yes, there is some reports here and there, and it seems you're in the right place to sniff them out.
Hey, do you want to come on this trip, which I call a game called Paintball? Isn't that supposed to be paintball? No, paintball.
For Neo, for you, Neo, you are back doing what you have always been doing.
Sleeping with
Fixing
assassins.
Running away.
No,
Oh.
have in mind, Neo never got to basically just fix stuff without having something there as a caveat. Now he's basically doing that while developing the next possible propulsion system.
Mhm. And you can't help but wonder what is going to happen in the future when, if things go bad, whether or not you're going to come face to face with certain individuals again, and what that could mean.
I mean, after thinking about that, I will think if it happens, it just meant I was right in being part of that. If not, oh well, what can you do?
He's still waiting
That's
on
life.
he's still waiting on his
You're
personal
wrong or
holonet
you're
YouTube
right.
channel. Yeah, he's still waiting on his personal holonet YouTube channel for that a beta face reveal video.
And at last, Jawayne, now that the entire clan is here and you can see them destroying, constructing things, you're surrounded by the people that you have known as family for quite a long time now. And learning what Jesser had to say, you can finally understand what you have seen years ago. With these strange grey aliens that were lying dead, and a new one arriving around the corpses, a different one to take that metallic rod. And now you know what that means. There is always someone that takes how it's called, let's say, to pass on the torch. The first was the Rakatans. They were destroyed mainly by their own hubris, as far as you understand. Then there were the Sith, and it seems that the same happened to them. Maybe this new threat is going to face the same end.
And meanwhile, the Jedi will continue to endure.
And with that, I think we can conclude the episode. And I can scarcely believe I'm saying that. The entire campaign.
No, wait,
Oh my god!
there's one more thing we need to do on screen.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Darth Janitor.
He swings inside with his red broomstick. Starts killing
He
people.
he gets the first chemical crystal to trigger like he wants, like he says, perfect, brings it in the cannon there.
You fools!
It was me all along. Now your republic is doomed.
You are my brother, Neo!
Let's just go back to seriousness. Seriously, let's go back to seriousness. It's getting dark here.
Yep.
Alright.
And I have to do more than I thought.
Yep.
Yeah, let's quickly wrap this final scene up.
Yep. So,
The master ceremony
That was
occurs.
yep. It seems that after the initial work is done, Luke and a lot of the other Jedi arrive on Dantooine to make the official beginning of the new temple.
Luke has a
Cut the
giant
red
pair of
ribbon.
scissors.
Okay.
Luke has a giant pair of scissors and a ribbon.
Yep, he's gonna cut the red ribbon.
And this is where Darth Janitor appears. And kills everyone.
That's my ribbon to cut.
So,
Anyway,
there is a big event when the new temple is officially established. And after the timid celebrations are yes are closing near the end.
Ketch brings up a few friends and they just get on the boot. Ketch gets on the
Yeah.
DJ desk and just starts playing Yub Nub remix.
There is also some suspicious bags there that say Max Skywalker's. We don't know what that is. And
Elena's Happy Meal has this weird badge that says Master on it.
actually, go ahead. How you would want to start it?
Elena will basically start the day as she always does, waking up, greeting all the workers and thanking them for their help with this project. The non-Jedi workers, obviously, first. And then she will go talk to her various friends, including the Force-sensitive ones. Then she will take a trip into Kunda and have a meeting with the administrator leader in Kunda before returning around at the same time as Luke arrives. Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And with Luke, she can see her friend from the New Republic, the Luke Skywalker's frigate, and everyone else turning up as well.
Mick Skywalker's frigate. Was there an expansion? Did they branch out?
Apparently, yes. Ketch has an entire Luke Skywalker's fleet now.
Oh God!
This must have been booming. I guess so. This is the after boom.
This is
Yes.
yeah.
and yeah, this is the perfect scene to end it, I believe. Here in the celebration, Luke goes next to you, Ellen, and he says, I think we did well.
I think we did.
he gives you a smile, and he says, "Yes, and I have to say, I was right about my choice. You have already proven to be a fine master."
Alana raises her eyebrows in surprise and then just gives a bow and says, I had the best example to follow.
You can see him. He's a bit awkward about it, and he says, "Oh, damn it. Well, I didn't know the first thing about any of this, and maybe that's why this is a success. None of us did."
You gotta go with what you know, and what you don't know, you figure out along the way, she says, looking at him. That's what I learned from you, not how to build this. This was just... She just pauses. I guess I could call it instinct.
Speaking of which, let's join Kyle and Mara with their portable Jedi bat.
Lead on, master, she says with a smile.
And as you start going there,
You see suddenly a bar fight breaking out because Narv was beginning to get bored, so he decided to make him one punch for the lols. No weapon can win.
He's just going, food fight!
and as all of this happens, the camera pans out back in the night
And
sky.
basically, as the walk back, as the camera pans out, you just pause on Alana's face, looking. She looks behind her. She sees in her own head visage of Revan and the Exile, giving her a polite nod. She nods back, turns to rejoin Luke, and kind of like the ending of Return of the Jedi, and that's how the film ends.
Yep. And after the credits go by, we see a small after scene with the after boom.
The after boom.
Yes, the after boom. Everything is quiet now. Everyone is asleep at this point. Everything is quiet, and suddenly, something on the ground starts to bulge, and you see a shovel.
Wedge comes through again.
Wedge's face emerges from the ground.
Yes!
Yes. Oh, damn it. I knew it. I had to turn left to my Gito.
That's perfect!
That's all, folks.
Beep, 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 beep. That's all, folks.
Yeah.
I can imagine the last camera shot of the campaign story being the exact same camera shot as Return of the Jedi, but Eleanor's added to the scene as well as Joanne.
No, we already decided. The last one is which coming out saying the.
No, that's the after credits scene.
And then we have a.
That's the after credits scene, not the actual. Not the end movie scene. The end movie scene is the Return of the Jedi scene with Eleanor and Joanne added. The after credits scene is Wedge.
But what do you think people are going to remember more? Ironically, the comedy one or the serious?
I know which one I'm going to remember more. I'm not arguing.
So,
The end.
the
Yeah,
end.
sure.
Finish here. Next time, we have mass defects
I have a Mass Defect, or next time we will do a Star Wars Q&A.
Okay, back to the host to make the outro.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us on this, well, 3 or 4 year long journey at this point. This has been the longest D&D campaign I've ever been involved in. It's going to be a bit hard to let go of these characters, but this story is concluded, and in a fun way, I think. Thank you to Marissa DM for excellently hosting this campaign. Say thank you, everyone.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for the craziest,
great.
most unhinged, strange characters I've seen the last year. But it somehow worked.
You're sure? You're sure about that? I can hear some stuff that truly were the most crazy and kids.
Yeah, well, let's see.
We're the most unhinged characters about some
Marissa, I think
highlighted
your
gel.
characters were crazier, so, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see the appearance of Darth Lloyd for the new campaign. Also, thank you to my fellow players, Pika, Max Time, and Tyrant, and also our part-time players, Stab and Cloud, for their contribution.
Yep.
Everyone
Thanks to all of you
has
too,
been
guys.
Amazing.
And thank
See
you,
you on the
everyone.
next adventure.
Yeah, thank you everyone at home for watching, and we will see you on the next adventure. Until then, Keela Salai. Oh wait, wrong series.